2 years back to
All
back.
right, fellas. Obviously, tough result today. Pretty big discrepancy between the first half and the second half. Kalib, maybe we start with you. What enabled you to be successful in the first half, and maybe how did that shift in the second?
I didn't play on my heels the first half. I was aggressive. Um, I did everything with a purpose. In the second half, I just started like second guessing, moving slow, not talking and everything. So that was a reason why for my slow start.
What about collectively as a team? What do you feel changed?
Our communication in the second half. I think just as a team, we do good in the first half because like we're always on our side of the bench, so we always got help. But in that second half, when it's just like us, we kind of lose focus and stuff like that. We lost focus in the second half about shooters and digging in and stuff like that. So overall, just communication and focus.
And to Baylor's credit, I mean, they're a fantastic team too. MA, maybe can you get into that a little bit? What does Baylor bring as an opponent?
Sure. As you guys saw today, they shot the ball really well. For us, one of our main focuses was just trying to take away the good looks, stuff like that. But give them credit, like you said, they're the number 2 team in the country. So we just gotta execute better down the stretch and stop the bleeding and stop the runs. But I mean, other than that, you guys saw it firsthand. They just shoot the ball great.
All right, members of the media, if you have questions for Oklahoma State's Kalib Boone or M.A. Moncrieffe, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh of the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, guys, for either one of you, when did you guys learn that you were going to be without Cade and Rondell today?
I mean,
I don't really know how
we really didn't know. It just came for game time, but we saw when we saw that, it was like we really didn't worry about it. It's just we still had eyes. We had Avery. We had people that can do the things Cade can do for us. So when we found out, it didn't make a huge difference, obviously. But it's Cade. But we didn't find out until late.
When you guys are without those guys, you're down to 8 players today. How much do you guys feel like you've grown though? Because you really took it to Baylor for about 29, 30 minutes. How much do you guys feel like you've grown to where you can compete without Cade and Rondell?
I feel like you said, we competed well down the stretch. It was really just one really big run that we didn't do too good stopping, and that was really the difference in the game. We could have stopped that big run, and they just blew it open. But I mean, other than that, I really liked our chances. We was competing, like you said. I felt like we could have been more efficient on the offensive end, but defensively we were all right. Our zone was really working, for the first half and the beginning of the second half. So it was really just closing out that run.
And finally, for either one of you guys, what has the last 12, 13 days been like going through the quarantine and having to not practice, and then you have 2 practices before you get to play the number 2 team in the country? What has that kind of been like? Walk me through that.
I mean, it's been like how has it been for the past? I mean, since Big 12, the Big 12 tournament last year, where we all had to go in quarantine. I mean, we missed playing basketball for a little bit. When we got on the court, we was anxious, we was excited. I mean, just because we was in quarantine, there's no excuses or nothing like that, because that was the number 2 team, and we was up 4 before at the end of the first half. So, I mean, there's no excuse. It's just on that one is us, but. I mean, having 2 days to practice, you get prepared for Baylor, which is a great team. You shoot the ball, lights out, have great role guys, and compete with them for the first half and in the second half too. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better, honestly, other than the win.
Awesome. Thanks, fellas.
Our next question comes from Robert Allen from Triple Play Sports. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, Kalib, couple of weeks ago, you were on the Zoom with all of us and talked about how your game was kind of struggling. You really weren't able to get in sync. In fact, you were kind of even accused yourself of misleading yourself a little bit. Since then, you had the good game against K-State. You guys get the big win against Kansas. You go into quarantine, and you get the start today with Cade out. What's changed? Because obviously this was special. This was your career high points, but also tied your career high in rebounds. You felt it today. Talk about that.
I mean, it was just the fact, like I told y'all against K-State, man, like for this whole season, I'm basically feeling, me personally, I feel like I haven't done everything I need to do for my team. I've been holding back. So like obviously Baylor, playing any team in the Big 12, man, you just excited and you always want to like play with a chip on your shoulder. But me, I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and play free, honestly, regardless if Kay was there or not, Rondell was there. I was just gonna play free, and that was the one thing that helped. Like Coach Mike, for these last few practices before we had to go in quarantine, and the last 2 days have just encouraged me and always talked to me. He's telling me, man, you get it down there. I need you to go score. You got to go score. You're a good player. So he's giving me more confidence. I put confidence in myself because I mean I'm still here, so just confidence mostly.
Within the game, you talk about Baylor being such a good outside shooting team, but they've got some guys that can really rough it up inside. I mean, and they were today. They got into a little bit of foul trouble, talking about Vital. You seem to be willing to muscle right back with him. In fact, a couple of your buckets were what I call muscle up baskets.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I don't like when people think because I'm skinny, I get punked. Like that's the one thing I hate, honestly. I've been here for a whole year, like for 2 years, going on 2 years, and I seen Azubuike, Culver at West Virginia. I didn't play against some guys that weighed almost 50 pounds, like 50 more pounds than me. I always know how to hold my own. So today it was like, man, like, okay, they're strong. Can they move like me? So I showed them I can move. I can run. I can jump. And that's what my guy M did over here too. We're not we don't have the biggest bigs in the Big 12, but I mean we can run. We can jump. We're quick. We got full work. So that's how we use that to our advantage.
Thanks, guys.
Next question comes from Chris Becker from the Ocali. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, MA, obviously not the outcome that you guys wanted, but you had a double-double in this game. Can you kind of talk about, how you were able to step up, missing Cade and missing Rondell, but, you got your time to shine today?
Sure. Obviously, with Cade out, other guys have to have big games, so it's me coming in. I know whether I score a lot, score a little, I was going to have to dominate the glass, which I thought I kind of did. I finished with 10, but ultimately, that was just my focus, just stepping up. As Cade and Dell weren't there, but ultimately it was I still take it as a step forward. It's good for me, but ultimately, we want to come out with a dub at the end of the day. So that's our end goal.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Kalib, we talk about, you having a career high in points tonight. You also had a career high in minutes coming off of that, long extended rest. How did you feel conditioning wise coming off the floor?
I mean, I felt great. Believe it or not, during quarantine, I kind of like went up on weight, and like I told y'all last year, I mean that's a big thing with me. When I'm up on weight, I feel like I can run for days and stuff like that. So that played a huge factor. But just the energy, just because Rondell, Cade, Mr. Farron didn't play, and they gave me energy. And MA and like Ice, and the people that were playing gave me energy. So that's another reason why I was able to keep going and running that court when I was tired and stuff like that.
And then for MA, what was Mike's kind of message to you guys before the game? Obviously, only having 8 guys, didn't have Cade. What was his message before the game?
No shows. Everybody got to step up.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Our next question comes from Myron Medcalf from ESPN.com. Go ahead, Myron.
Yeah. So why exactly was Cade out? What were you all told about his absence?
I mean, they didn't really tell us much, man. Coach Mike just told us, like, doesn't matter if we have them or not. We're going to go out there and compete. That it was really just that, all that being said.
Our next question comes from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, man, I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the rebounding. You guys started real strong effort-wise and offensive rebounding in the first half. You guys had 9. How much of that played a role into the first half start for you guys?
No, it was huge. I feel like that was the focal point because we know they're a great defensive team. But we felt we had an advantage offensive rebounding, like you said. So that we scored on. I don't know how much of it we scored, but that was a great second chance opportunities for us. And then we rebounded on the defensive end too. We were plus 12 in rebounds at the half. So that was a difference for us. I feel like in the half, regardless if we were hitting shots or not, we was rebounding. So we just got to carry that out through 2.
And then this one's for Kalib. Looking at some of the good things you guys did do, especially in that first half, being as shorthanded as you were, what does that say about this group for you guys to be able to come out and compete that way, knowing you were out with Wandale and Cade?
I mean, like we said against Tech, we played Tech, like we said against Texas, like we said against Kansas. I mean, bro, like this team, we're gonna fight regardless if we're winning or losing. Like we're just gonna fight regardless if we got 7, 6, 10, 11. Like you throw a number out there, you tell us how many players is playing, we're just gonna get out there and fight. And like Coach Mike said, man, when we see stuff like that, no shows in. Everybody did what they needed to do.
Thank you.
All right, and our final question is going to come from Danielle Dwyer from Fox 25. Go ahead, Danielle.
I'm just curious, guys. There's been a couple games in your losses that a run is kind of the difference maker. I mean, that's what's separating it. What do you think is the biggest challenge, especially with such a young group, to eliminate those moving forward?
So it's really today it was evident. We just in our zone. They got a lot of open looks. That was it. We didn't take away those open looks from them in the second half, and that was really what led to them. And then we weren't scoring on the offensive end. So it was really that was it. We just couldn't get stops, and we weren't efficient on offense. So that was really what led to it. And you guys saw the results. So going forward, we just gotta execute better on the defensive end. I feel like in the zone and stuff like that, we just got to lift higher and take some of their good shooters out the game. So that was it for us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that'll do it for questions, but maybe you can take us home here. Just one final thought, one last message, whatever you feel is most important about today, whatever you feel is most important about this team. Kalib, we'll go ahead and start with you.
In my honest opinion, man, I feel like people just we're fighters, man. Like honestly, like no matter what team it is, who it is, I don't care if they got 3 NBA future NBA players, whatever. We're gonna fight, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. No matter who the competition is, y'all know us, we hate to lose. Y'all hear it every time when we take one. So I mean, we're gonna fight regardless if we get the recognition or not, and we don't really need it because we're just dogs like that.
All right, MA, same thing. What's the most important thing?
Going forward, I feel like there's a lot of bad we could take away from this game, obviously, but there's a lot of good. I felt like we competed with them for the most part. I felt like we were right there until the last run, like you said. So going forward, when we get our guys back full strength, I feel like honestly we're a better team than them. So. That's the way I feel going forward, and that's a good mindset going into the next games and the next time we see them at their house. So.